Hello and welcome to week 3. For week 3, the first thing that you're going to do is complete your reading assignment. This week you'll read chapter 5, sections 4 and 6, chapter 8, section 1, and read from fragments to the end of that section. Those are in Let's Get Writing, so you can just use the link to access our text. You've got 3 slide decks. One will guide you with writing a comparison essay. You've got a slide deck on sentence types and one on correcting sentence errors. So once you're done with your reading assignments for the week, you can move on to project number 2. Remember, project 1 and 2 are completely from your own experience. No outside research should be used for this project. So let's look at what we're talking about for this particular project. So the handout at the top is going over the same information that you got for project number 1, just that you need a header with your last name and page number, and you need a heading with your name, my name, the course, and the date. I want you to think about when you're comparing two items, what your purpose is for comparing them. Do you want to have your audience choose one over the other? Do you want to give your audience a little bit of autonomy to be able to make that choice for himself or herself? So you want to think about, what do you hope to accomplish by having, by showing your reader the differences and or similarities between these two items. You want to think about who your audience is. How much do they know about the places or things that you're comparing? So you might need to build in those descriptive details, those examples. Illustration is exemplification, so where you can add those examples in. All right, so I want you to think about the impact of community by considering the places that you've spent time at and how they influence your personal experiences. Remember that you don't want to include any outside research for this paper. This is all from your own experiences. You're free to use I as you talk about your time spent. And you've got some choices here, but obviously it's not limited to this. But if you do decide to go outside of these topics, please make sure that you reach out to me and let me know. But you could compare Detroit to a neighboring suburb. You could compare a street in a suburb to one in Detroit. Or, I'm thinking of somewhere like Woodward. You could talk about Woodward and Royal Oak as opposed to Birmingham. Just something that you've actually, maybe shopped at. Maybe it's a park that you're going to compare to another park, or a rural environment to an urban environment in Michigan. Maybe you've been to, a game at Comerica Park versus one at Ford Field, or you've been to LCA, or you've been to museums, and again, that you've actually been there, that you've experienced two different college environments, either as a student or from visiting a friend. Maybe it's neighborhoods. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be in Detroit, but you want to think of places or experiences that, have been part of things that you've done, either alone or with others. So that is the project number 2 assignment. As you begin to form that draft, remember that's going to be due at the end of this week. But I want you to take an opportunity to set up a compare and contrast graphic organizer. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go over to, and it's right next to edit. Sorry, the screencast is just a little bit cut off, but you're going to go to the file menu, and that's going to allow you to make a copy. And once you click on that, you'll have a copy that you can edit. You'll want to rename it maybe with your name, and you'll want to make sure that when you are done with it, that you make sure that your share settings are anyone with the link can view. So those are a couple of important things when you begin to fill out this graphic organizer so that you can share it with a classmate. You're going to create a thesis statement. I know it's tentative right now because you're just setting up your comparison. You're going to tell me what item you're comparing to which item. So, Woodward in Royal Oak, Woodward in Birmingham, something to that effect. And maybe your thesis statement is something like, while, Woodward is a street that stretches, across many towns in southeastern Michigan. They couldn't, the street itself could not be more different than it is in Royal Oak compared to Birmingham. Something like that is a thesis statement. And then I want you to use 10 images per collage. So find with, Google Images or whatever is easiest for you to use. There are some other, image databases, but you're going to put 10 images of, in this case, in the example that we're using, Woodward in Royal Oak, and 10 images of Woodward in Birmingham. And then, like I said, you're going to want to be able to share it, because ultimately you're going to use this collage with its thesis statement, your 2 items, and your pictures. You're going to share that with a classmate in the discussion forum this week. So once you get to that discussion forum in your due section, you're going to post that link, or you could download it and share it. You're going to choose one fellow classmate's graphic organizer, and you're going to answer these 4 questions. So you only have 2 posts. Post your own link or upload what you've downloaded, and you're going to find a classmate and answer these questions. So that's your discussion forum. Remember that it is due on Friday this week. And then you'll submit the rough draft by Sunday, and you'll take your grammar and usage checkpoint by Sunday. If you have any questions as you move through the week, don't hesitate to ask.